Hello friends, welcome to another episode of Cooking with the Commish. Tonight we're going to do an amazing salmon piccata recipe. It's hot here in Maryland right now. We're in the middle of our summer, so we're going to do a lighter version of an Italian classic, right? Chicken piccata can be a little bit heavy. You serve it with a pasta, you serve it it's a very heavy dish. We're going to do a much lighter version. We're going to do a beautiful salmon piccata with garlic and spinach and cannellini bean ragu. And it's just going to be much lighter, much healthier. But one of the first things that I want to address is a lot of people tell me how stressful it is when they're cooking in the kitchen because they're trying to follow a recipe and do all the different things. So I want everybody to remember three simple French words: mise en place, which translates directly to everything in its place. What chefs do around the world when we're cooking in big kitchens, we have all of our ingredients already laid out, already measured, so we know that each plate that we make is going to taste the same, and the work is not difficult because everything's already measured out. It's all pre-measured, so we can relax, we can enjoy the cooking process. That's what home cooking is all about, being able to relax and enjoy. So make sure you read through the recipe before you actually start cooking, because the last thing anybody wants to do is get halfway through a recipe and realize, I need softened butter. I don't have any softened butter. So let's make sure that you always read through the recipe. You know exactly the ingredients that you need. You have everything already laid out, so we can relax and we can enjoy the cooking process. So right now we're gonna move into cooking the beautiful salmon piccata with spinach and cannelli bean, garlic, olive oil ragu. And if you're enjoying these videos and you're enjoying what I put out, please make sure you're hitting that like and that share button on the channel. So we're going to move into cooking the actual meal. Okay, so now we're going to start the cooking process of our beautiful salmon piccata. So the first thing we want to do is we have a hot pan over about medium-high heat, and we're going to add about 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and we're going to let that just get warm in the pan. Okay, now with a traditional piccata, if you were doing a chicken piccata, you would put it through a flour and breading process. We're not going to do that here because it's a salmon piccata, and we're going for a lighter, more summertime meal about it. So we're going to do more of a poached salmon in this sauce here. So we're just going to get this hot. We're going to add to our hot olive oil, we're going to add about 1/4 cup of chopped shallots. And we're going to let that cook through just a little bit and soften up. Now, one thing that I always want to tell people is when you're cooking in any way, you never, ever add the garlic first. That's the huge mistake. You always add your onions first. Onions always go in first because we don't want the garlic to burn. That's the worst mistake we can make. So after we add our onions, or our shallots in this case, we're going to add about 2 cloves of finely chopped garlic, and we're going to mix that in. And what we want to get here is just a little bit of, we don't want it to brown, but we want it to just soften a bit and get a little bit translucent in the pan. And we're going to just give that a good shake there. Oh, and the aromas are coming through. already with that beautiful, beautiful garlic. And once we get the garlic cooking, we are going to add our white wine. Right? And we're going to give that white wine an opportunity to burn off. That is about a quarter cup of white wine. And we want to cook that off. We want to cook out that alcohol flavor on that, right? We want to burn off the alcohol on that. So we're going to let that cook for a few moments. And what we're doing is we're building our poaching liquid at this time. Very slowly, we're just adding to different flavors that we are trying to accomplish here. And we're going to take a little bit of fresh parsley and we're going to put that into our poaching liquid as well. And that's going to be delicious. Oh, if you could smell that, I wish you could. I wish they had smell-o-vision, right? That would be magnificent. Now, one of the big things in salmon piccata or chicken piccata is our lemon juice. One thing that I always tell people, what I want people to be very careful about is when we want lemon juice and we also want the lemon peel a little bit on this. So, but be very careful. The last thing you want to do is grind your lemon peel this way, right? Because I can't see what I am getting into my bowl here, because we want the yellow part of the lemon, but we do not want the white part. So always make sure we're doing it this way, so I can see what is going into my grater, and I am getting only the parts of the lemon that I want, and I want that beautiful yellow part of the lemon, the lemon zest, right? Everybody can see that. Oh, I want that beautiful lemon zest, the yellow part, not the white part, because that can be very, very bitter. So, and then we're going to put that aside, and what we're going to do is I've already got about a quarter cup of fresh lemon juice, and I'm going to just knock this right into it. So now we have about 2 teaspoons of lemon zest and about a quarter cup of lemon juice. We're going to knock the rest of these shallots in there. That's cooking beautifully. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to add our lemon juice and lemon zest to this pan and give that a few moments to go ahead and cook out and get, and the flavors and the smell is just, amazing. This is going to be such a delicious meal, and it's very simple. The biggest thing I tell everybody, Italian cooking is very simple. I think in America we have made it too difficult. We've changed the recipes. We've made them far too expensive. We've made them just too difficult to cook. Most Italian meals, it's peasant food. It's what's in season at the time. It's what's available at the time. It's what is affordable. So we just want to make sure that we're always doing that. So now we have our lemon juice, our lemon zest, our Italian parsley, our garlic, our shallots in. We're going to go ahead and add our capers. Capers, very important. These are non-peril capers, very inexpensive. You can find them in any grocery store. Most important thing you want to remember is with the capers, make sure that you rinse them thoroughly because they're packed in a salt water brine. So you want to make sure you rinse them before you put them into your dish, or you will overly salt the food that you're trying to cook, and nobody wants that. And we're going to let that cook for just a couple of moments and just get warm. And once that gets warm, we're going to add about a cup and a half of chicken stock. We're going to do a video on how to make a chicken stock. We all cook lots of chicken, and we want to save those bones, and we want to save all the vegetables that we use, or that we chop, and the ends and the bits and the bobs, so we can have vegetables ready at the ready, and we're going to have chicken bones, so we can make our own stock. It's much better than what you can buy in the store, and much less expensive as well. So here we are. We've got this up to a nice heat. We're going to go ahead and add our chicken stock to this beautiful poaching liquid. Oh, and we're going to bring that up to heat. Okay. And while our poaching liquid is coming up to a heat, we're going to go ahead and focus on, we're going to make a cannelli bean, garlic, and spinach ragu to go underneath our beautiful salmon piccata. So the first thing we want to do is make sure we have our oil warm on a medium-low heat. And we're going to put in some sliced garlic. Guys, refer to my my video on the difference between sliced and minced garlic, and you will understand why I'm using a sliced garlic in this dish. So we're going to let that just melt in and cook a bit. And we're going to add our shallots at the same time. Now, I know I said that you always add the garlic secondary, but in this I wanted to infuse that oil a little bit with the garlic flavor, and then immediately add our sliced shallots to it. So we're going to cook that just lightly. We're just going to get that just simmering slowly, right? We don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves here, and we don't want to, again, we're not looking to brown this. We're looking just to get everything translucent. Okay, that's what we're looking for. Just tender and soft. And this is coming along beautifully. We want to make sure we give this a stir. And we want to make sure our poaching liquid is up to a good simmer before we add our salmon to it. These are two beautiful 4-ounce pieces of salmon, plenty for 2 people. I just cooked for Jennifer and I. So now that we have our poaching liquid up to a good heat, we're just going to drop this salmon right into it. All right. And we want that to be right where it is, about halfway up that salmon, right there, right? And it's going to just poach lightly and slowly in this liquid. We don't want to cook it too fast. We don't want to overcook it, so we want to be very, very careful how we're doing that. I might turn this down just a little bit. So we just want to make sure that we're cooking that and letting the beautiful liquid that we have made soak into that salmon, and let it just kind of hang out in that pan a little bit. Okay. And now we've got our onions, our shallots going, and our garlic going here. We're almost there. Once we add our spinach to this pan, it will take just a few moments to actually come together and cook. This is a very, once again, I mean, you're watching me make this from beginning to end. There's no time stop. This is a very, very simple meal, very quick. Nothing you couldn't do easily on a weeknight. This is not, there's no trickery here. There's no, most great cooking is simple cooking. It's not as difficult as a lot of people seem to think it is, and I think that's kind of a fault of so much of the media we have out there. People watch these shows from these great chefs, and we're spending hundreds of dollars on these different cuts of meat and all this, and people think, you know, I can't cook a great meal for my family for a reasonable price, because I mean, my goodness, look at all these guys. I have to spend hundreds of dollars on a meal. I mean, this meal, the salmon that I bought a much bigger piece of salmon, and I brought it home and I skinned it because it was on sale. Brought it home and I skinned it and cut it myself. And this whole meal tonight is probably, I would say, about, for two people, about $15. Not a lot of money, but an absolute gorgeous meal to enjoy. And that's really what food is about. It's really not supposed to be this expensive, I have to spend hundreds of dollars to cook a meal. So I want people to understand that. This cooking with the Commish is really an outreach for me. I want people to understand that you can cook. You can cook great food for your family and enjoy good food without breaking the bank. And that's really important. My wife Jennifer and I, we live very frugally. And we don't go out to eat a lot. And, you know, there's so many meals that you know, honestly, I go out to restaurants and we eat, and we are in the middle of a meal, and I say, you know what, I think I could make this better at home. You know, I go home and I do it. So I'd much rather take these meals and cook them at home and save some money at the same time. And you know what ingredients you're putting into your food. I think this needs a little bit of salt. You always want to make sure that we're not making a big, huge mess. And a little salt in there, you know, and the salt will also help bring out the water from the vegetables that we're cooking. And then what I want to do here is, I want to make a little well in this spinach. Now that I've got it running around, the spinach does not take long to cook, and we're going to dump our cannelli beans right in the middle there. And we're going to mix this all together, and this is going to be such a delicious meal. I think this is about done. We can turn that down and just let it remain warm in the pan. And we are just waiting to finish off our spinach and cannelli bean mixture here. We want the spinach to be just a little bit more soft. It's going to happen very quickly once it starts to really heat up. And we have a lot of the same flavors going on between the spinach and cannelli bean and our beautiful salmon piccata. So that is very important as well. We want to keep the same flavor profile across the entire meal. And we're going to stir this up and let this just cook a few more minutes. Our onions are soft. The smells amazing. I wish you could smell how great this is. I mean, this is just a wonderful dish and very simple and easy to make. We are not working hard. We're not cooking for hours and hours on end in the kitchen, and you know, it's a weeknight. We want to just have a good meal and you know, come home, and this could easily be done for 2 more people, very simply. Just a wonderful meal and not overly expensive. So with that, I think we're about almost ready to plate this beautiful meal. We're going to let this just cook just a touch longer. And then we're going to plate. And you will see a beautiful salmon piccata served over a bed of spinach and garlic and cannelli bean ragu. And I think we're ready. So very simply, we're gonna take our plate. We're gonna put, we're gonna make a nice, right in the center here. Beautiful. Put that down. I wanna get my fish spatula here, and we're gonna make sure that we put that right in the center like that. And we definitely want some of this beautiful sauce on top with the capers that give it just a wonderful crisp taste. You can serve this with some wonderful good bread, and so you can soak up the sauce that this is floating in. But here you go. We have a beautiful salmon piccata, spinach and cannelli bean ragu. Very simply done. Happy cooking. I hope everybody tries this. Please make sure you hit that the like and the share. And if you have any comments or questions, please make sure you send them off to me. But here's our beautiful salmon piccata.